All right, FightHype.com. Sean Zittel here with O'Shaquie Foster, a guy who's he's been the WBC silver featherweight or super featherweight champion since 2019. So whether it was Burchell or Valdez or Shakur Stevenson, this man has been waiting over 3 years to get his well-deserved WBC title shot. First of all, O'Shaquie, how much does that factor into this fight? Being a hungry fighter, a guy who's had to wait and wait and wait for this opportunity, how much does that factor into this fight with Rey Vargas?
Oh, big time! It factored in big time. I've been patient. I actually won the title, the silver title in 2018. It's been a long road, especially it's been a long road, especially these last 4 years. I feel like a lot of people been ducking and dodging me and just going through, certain, aspects with the promoters and things like that. I'm happy to finally get, my turn.
How much of it you think is the aspect with the promoters and the business, and how much of it is you're a big risk? It's a tough fight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm from a small city. A lot of the fight work go off of the social medias and the followings and things like that. It ain't really about the fight no more too much. But I knew it was gonna come. I work hard. I know I got the skills to beat anybody. So it was just about me being patient. I'm with the right people now. Shout out to Richard Schaefer, Probellum, and PVC for putting me on. I appreciate the opportunity.
Was any part of you surprised that Rey Vargas went in your direction? Because here he is at 26, maybe a unification with Leo Santa Cruz, and instead he's going to move up to 30 to fight a hungry guy, that is actually bigger than him. What do you make of that?
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. I didn't even know who Rey Vargas was until they told me that his name might come across the table. Hey, I appreciate the opportunity. He coming up. He's a 2-time world champion. I love it. I like a challenge, and I feel like that's the best way. Fighting another current world champion. So. After the fight or whatever, I should get the respect.
When he still mentions Leo Santa Cruz and the mention up to the fight and the lead up to the fight, is that like bulletin board material? What are you doing talking about Leo Santa? You're not going to get to Leo Santa Cruz. Does that provide any extra motivation in fight camp?
No, because after I beat him, he can go back down and fight Santa Cruz at 26. He still got the title down there, so. They can still build that up, and after he get knocked out or after he lose, I don't really pay attention to it. He can look past me if he want. I'm coming straight for him though. I'm not worried about anybody else or anything else. Is for me to get that title, So I feel like it's my turn, and I just got to show the world.
One of the great attributes he's had at 122 and 126 is his height. He's taller than these guys, but you're the bigger man. How do you think this time you're the bigger man? How do you think that factors into the fight with you two?
It got his good, but I really don't even think about it too much. Just being a bigger guy, because I feel like my skills and my ability is what's gonna be the difference. That's what I feel like gonna separate us. Not just that I'm bigger and to be able to probably bully him, but how sharp I am and my skills overall. That's what I want to show, and that's what I feel like is gonna be the difference.
I imagine you want to show it all. You're not just gonna fight in any one style for the whole fight. You switch it up. But if you had to say what's gonna separate you guys, is it gonna be more the boxing skills and speed, or is it gonna be more dogging him out? In the pocket, exchanging?
Shit, it might be everything. It might be a combination of everything. We just gotta see. I like to adjust. I just feel like it's gonna be a great night. I feel like it's gonna be a good night, and whether I'm boxing or I'm coming forward or we sit in the pocket, I feel like I'm gonna show everything that, you know, that people looking for. You know, I can do it all.
Down in Texas, have you had to face a lot of, you know, good Mexican fighters? And do you feel like that'll help you heading into this fight, that you maybe seen some Rey Vargas down in Texas, you know, coming up as a fighter?
Well, I've seen them all over the country. I had over 200 amateur fights, so you know, I've fought the best of them. I've sparred the best of them, so it ain't nothing that I haven't seen. You know, he got two arms, so it's definitely, it ain't nothing I haven't seen. I've sparred a lot of Mexicans, a lot of tall guys. I fought a lot of tall guys, and I love it. You know, I got long arms, so it always got me by.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't let us in on the game plan or nothing, but how do you deal with a guy like Rey Vargas, who's got good combinations and long arms? You know, what's a preview you could give us?
Hey, just man, just being me, just being me. I've never had a problem. I ain't really had no problem with tall guys. Like I said, my arms are super long. Most of the time, my arms are longer than the taller guys, so it gives me a little advantage. And you know, I got speed and I got power. My power is underrated, so things like that.
What about the fact that you know, he's been 12 rounds 8 times? You know, you've only went 12 rounds once. Is that going to be tough at all? You know, in a title fight like this, getting to the second half? Because some people would say he actually fades in the second half of fights. But can you take advantage of that if you've only went 12 once yourself?
Oh yeah, for sure. The rounds really, you know, I spar 15, 20 rounds. I do that all the time, you know. I don't think it would matter. Like my last fight in the 12th round, you know, I took it and I dropped dude in the 12th. So, you know, I carry that power and I carry my endurance all the way through.
What would you say, Oshaki, to the box rec warriors? You know, the people who they'll look up Oshaki Foster. Damn, he's fast. He could punch. How's he got the 2 losses early in his career? How would you address that?
Oh man, just my situation was a little different. I wasn't focused, you know. I during the first loss, you know, I didn't even have a gym in my hometown. I was really just training out of a warehouse in a little ring that we built up and things like that. But I was also still in the streets and everything trying to do that. So, and it was just one of them things where I wasn't focused. You know, not being focused can definitely knock you off, and that was my thing. So now, you know, I'm all the way locked in, and I don't let the outside noise distract me or anything else that's going on. So, you know, I moved around away from my hometown and things like that.
It's actually a little surprising to hear that, because you were an Olympic alternate in 2012. So you know, I get it more if it's a guy who started late and he's thinking of, you know, the streets or boxing. But it's a little surprising to hear early as a pro, when you were such a decorated amateur, that you were still struggling with that. What's changed for you, you know, as a man and everything from then to now that got you focused and right?
Well, I was 17 when I was an Olympic alternate. When I went to the Olympic trials, I was literally 17. So I didn't have a lot of the big promoters coming after me. I was from a small town. Actually, as soon as I got out the Olympic trials, my gym had closed in my hometown. So all I had was, you know, my homeboys in the streets and stuff like that. So, you know, it was just, yeah, I really didn't have nowhere to go, but you know, the streets. So things like that. But I was a young kid. You know, I was a young kid with no guidance. You know, nobody to show me the right way.
Mm-hmm.
I had to bump head a few times. That's it.
You feel blessed, you know, kind of maybe fortunate to be in this position now then?
Most definitely. I watched couple of my friends got killed. I've watched a couple of them, you know, spend 5, 6, 10, 12 years in jail, you know, things like that. So I definitely feel blessed to, you know, be in this position and to be able to, you know, change my family life and bring a world title to the city, something that has never happened. So
do you bring some of that? Do you bring some of that in the ring against Rey Vargas? You know, you left it alone. You left it, you dedicate yourself to box, but you bring some of that energy and that anger, you know, into the ring towards him in the fight.
I bring it in every fight.
Mm-hmm.
Every fight. You know, every fight. Every opportunity I get, I want to take advantage of. I don't want to let nothing slide. So I bring all that energy into the fight. So I know, you know, that I don't want to go back to what I was or where I came from. So I definitely bring it to the fights for sure. Every fight though.
I know you're from Texas like Errol. Is it man down February 11th? Or does it go the distance?
Hey, if I see the opening, if it's there, it definitely would be man down. But whether it's unanimous decision or by knockout, you know, I'm coming for the win. But just know if he make a mistake, I will make him pay.
And lastly, man, last one before you get out of here. You had the back and forth, you know, on Twitter with Shakur Stevenson when you were his mandatory. He's moved up now. You know, there's fights for you at 30, fights for him at 35. But is that a rivalry? Is that something where it's like you got to see me before we retire?
It's not a rivalry. You know, we got history, but when I move up, you know, I'm definitely looking forward to fighting them kind of guys, Shakurs, the Devins, the Tanks, all the guys that's up there 35. You know, I want to test myself against the best. You know, so definitely, you know, would love to make those matchups in the future for sure.
Well, best of luck to you, Oshaki, February 11th, Alamo Dome on Showtime, WBC super featherweight title. Man, you've been a long time coming. You get your shot. Anything else you want to say before you get out of here, man?
Man, thank you. I appreciate it. And y'all tune in to February 11th, man. It's going to be fireworks. You know, I'm going to show the world that, you know, I'm here and I'm here to stay.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Oshaki.